We all have really hard roads, and some of us have far harder roads than I ever had. I think it's important to stop and say, what are we going to do about it to change the patterns of our families? I don't know who, but I think it was a Christian philosopher who said, when I was young, I tried to change the world, but the world wouldn't change. So I tried to change my country, and it wouldn't change either. It resisted. So I tried to change my state, and I couldn't. I tried to change my town, and I couldn't. And my family wouldn't change. So I changed myself. And with that, I changed my children. And they changed the town, and they changed the state, and they changed the world. And that's kind of the way I look at it. I read that once in one of the millions of books I read, but it really strikes a chord. Because if we stop now, some of the habits and behaviors that we have, and we recognize them, we grow, we become something that's wonderful. And when we stop and look at ourselves and say, you know what, I have this issue or that issue, or maybe you have a friend that can point out an issue that you have, which I have, or a wife. She's very far gentler than my friends. Then you learn to work on it. I actually have a friend who said, you have abandonment issues. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not leaving. You know? I didn't get it, you know? You learn to work on yourself, and you learn to work on the future. I said in the book, man, I said many times in my life I would never have changed anything. Quite frankly, I couldn't change anything. I was too small and too young, too weak. I look back at the times where I was weak in my life, and here I am an adult, and I am going to be strong. Life for you and for me is about doing big things. If you haven't done big things in your life, then get going, because it's gonna, it's a short ride, very short ride. The book will take you on a journey, and I'll let you enjoy it yourself. But I will start here where I'm instructed. I never had a hard time making money when I was young. One day I was walking past the Winn-Dixie grocery store. There were several newspaper vending machines where someone could walk past and put in 25 cents to pick up a paper. I instantly decided to open the box for 25 cents and take out the whole stack of papers, over 20 of them, and sell them in front of the store between the entrance and the exit. It took nearly 2 hours to empty out all of the boxes. St. Pete Times, get your St. Pete Times right here. St. Pete Times, over and over again, until all the papers were sold. This went on for days and weeks and months. Then one day, I went to the very same spot, in the very same box, and there they were, unlocked, completely unlocked. I thought for sure I had hit the jackpot. My excitement was incredible. I rushed to each box and removed the papers and stacked them behind me as if I were setting up my own store. Proud as a peacock, I stood hollering, St. Pete Times, get your St. Pete Times right here. St. Pete Times. I sold about 12 papers until one lady came up walking from the parking lot. I watched her walk up. At the perfect time, I hollered, St. Pete Times, St. Pete Times. Miss, would you like a St. Pete Times? Me? Are you asking me if I want a St. Pete Times? I was thinking, what is this lady, an old bag? Can't she hear me? Or just is she one of those short little old ladies with red hair who like to give little kids like me a hard time? What's your name, young man? My name? Yes, your name. You do have a name, don't you? Yes, it's Michael. Well, what's your name, miss? I asked in my best smart-ass tone. My name is Cecil, and let me tell you something, Mr. Michael, she said in a nasty, hard, quickly voice, as if she knew what I was thinking about her. Listen, smart-ass, you think you're bright, don't you? You might want to go back to school. Everyone knows the St. Pete Times is free today, no charge. What are you talking about? I asked. St. Pete Times always gives a newspaper out for free if the day before the sun does not come out for at least one throughout the day. And yes, it rained all day yesterday and the sun didn't shine. Rain, thunder, lightning, sound familiar? Today the paper is free. So, if I were you, I would put those papers back in the box the way they were and take your dumb little ass back to school. Stay there. With that, she walked away and went into the store, and I suppose she did her shopping, but not before she alerted the store manager and promptly had me thrown off the property. Here's the thing, I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad most of you bought the book. You didn't, but you will. There was great healing in writing a book, and that's really why I started writing a book. I have an Aunt Gloria who's in the book, my Gloria Jones, my father's sister, who is an amazing woman. And I showed her a few of the very beginning stories, and she said, never stop writing this. And she died shortly after that, and made me promise not to stop writing, but I did. I did write it. Everything I've been through in my life, and you, is a blessing, absolute blessing. I got a wife. I never thought I'd have a wife like that. John, you know. That's a hell of a win over there. And my son and my in-laws, they're awesome. So this life is just amazing. We need to take time and look at it and find out, what it's all about, what your pain's about. We all have pain. We all have misery and journey. And we need to work it out, because otherwise we hand it down to our generations. As the foreword says, I have great dreams of someday being able to do something for children. You guys are ambassadors. If you read the book and you love it, talk about it. Tell someone to buy it. If you read the book and you don't like it, go buy another one and read it again. Okay? I want to say this. I'm a child from a broken family. A few hard days, compared to the rest of my life, those few hard days were nothing. My whole life has been incredible, wonderful. I want to write about it, but I want to change the world. I want to change people's thoughts. I've changed my history. The best I know of, my brothers and sisters have changed their history, and none of them are here. The issue is just too hard for them, and that's understandable. I want to tell you this. I hear it all the time. The children are our future. Guess what? Children are our present, they're our now, and they're our today. And unless we check ourselves, check our behaviors, check our attitudes, and unless we pray and we have our higher powers, guys, we got to grow. We need to change the world one person at a time, one family, one generation. Thank you for coming. Eat all the food, otherwise I will. God bless.